Hello and welcome to HRBC show called Let's Talk. So today we have Mr. Jason Wooldridge. I said that right?
You got it right. You got it right.
Candidate for the Suffolk City Council. And today we're going to find out if he has what it takes to get your vote. So welcome.
Well, thank you for having me on. I'm very, very excited to be here and get to talk to folks.
Awesome. So would you like to tell the people a little about yourself?
So yeah, just like you said, my name's Jason Wooldridge. I'm a Navy veteran. Brought me here to Tidewater back in 2001, and I've lived here in Suffolk ever since then. My beautiful wife, Stephanie, is a public school teacher. She's been a public school teacher for 19 years in the city of Suffolk, and I currently am a professional engineer. I'm a design engineer in a company over in Chesapeake. Got really to the point where I felt like the city council wasn't listening a lot to the citizens here in Suffolk. So what better way to fix a problem than to pick it up and do it yourself? So here we are.
All right. Okay, so I got a couple questions for you. Are you ready?
I am.
All right, here we go. Your site says engineering a brighter future for Suffolk. What do you mean by that?
So, like I said, I'm an engineer. That means I'm a problem solver. By nature, kind of a nerdy kind of guy. I like to collect data. I like to analyze a lot of stuff and put risk management into the equation. And I don't think our city council is doing that right now. I don't think they're looking down the road at the law of unintended consequences. I think they see the immediate benefit of what's there, and they're not thinking generationally on there. So being an engineer, I want to solve some of the problems we have here in Suffolk. Brighter future, that's a simple little tag on the end there, right? Downtown Suffolk's got some needs. There's some areas in Suffolk that could use some shining up, so I want to make it brighter, make it the shining diamond that it should be. And again, that involves thinking generationally because it's not going to get fixed overnight. So we want to make sure that Suffolk, well, it's my home, and I want it to be everybody else's comfortable home. I want Suffolk to be better, not bigger. That's kind of what seems to be the motive right now. They want to expand out and put warehouses everywhere. And a lot of folks here in Suffolk, we don't want to do that. We want to revitalize what's going on downtown, make it keep that small town feel, but embrace the growth.
Okay, sounds good. All right, now tell us about your thoughts on Suffolk's 2045 comprehensive plan.
I'm not a big fan of the comprehensive plan. I think the plan is lacking planning. I know we spent 2 years and the city's probably spent easily $1 million on it, but it does not reflect what's best for the citizens of Suffolk. They've asked for, but they very obviously ignored the citizens' input into what's going on there. The plan reads more like a developer's presentation on what they want and where they want to build, rather than a plan for growth that best suits the needs of the citizens and the people that already live here. Currently, there has been no fiscal impact analysis done for that study. That would tell us how that an expanding infrastructure and this growth that's happening will increase our taxes or not increase our taxes. I think we can fix a lot of those problems that they say they're addressing inside of that plan by revitalizing downtown where infrastructure already exists. So that means that we don't have to raise those taxes because the infrastructure is already there rather than putting in new. And there's also people in Suffolk will agree with me on this one. There's an overcrowding of our roads and an overcrowding of our schools due to this extremely rapid growth rate we've got going on. And that would imply that you should probably have done a traffic impact analysis, and that 2045 comp plan does not include that. So now we're planning for growth, but we're not planning to teach our youth to expand our roads for the growth because that's not part of the plan. So again, I go back and tell you that the plan reads more like a developer's presentation to the city on what they want rather than what the citizens want. Citizens have clearly said they want revitalization of downtown areas. not expansion into our agricultural areas. So I want to make downtown, like East Washington Street, new again. There's buildings down there that I've been here for 24 years, and I've watched those buildings get boarded up, just left to disrepair. Some of them, the roofs have caved in. We've had to tear them down recently. But it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because when you do that, if you're trying to attract businesses to your town, you're not going to bring them downtown where it's falling apart. And we desperately need to spring back small businesses. So we need to revitalize downtown. We need to bring those buildings back, bring our downtown area back, push the crime out of that area. We need to invest in ourselves in Suffolk, make ourselves a resource to the Tidewater area. I'd like to see us invest in some adult trade schools, as well as putting some trade school emphasis back into public schools, so that when children graduate from high school, they don't have to go off to college. They're ready to go out into the world and be productive parts of society. They can go get a job at the shipyard. They can get, if they so desire, they can start their own business. Because again, we want small businesses over here in downtown Suffolk. And I think by revitalizing that area downtown there, we can meet some of those needs too, because again, the infrastructure is already there. So water, gas, electric, proximity to public transportation, that's all there. And I've heard a lot of talk about an affordable housing crisis. Well, the solutions I've heard where they want to put them way out in rural Suffolk. And while the housing might be affordable, the folks that live in affordable housing probably don't appreciate the cost of a 45-minute commute. So if we put it downtown, we put it next to transportation, we put it next to basically everything you need to live life, it makes more sense. So I think we're on the wrong track. I don't think that the growth is bad. I just think we're not managing it in the proper way.
Okay. Some good points there. All right. So gotta forgive me, I'm not familiar with Suffolk. So what does the Wayville Burrow cover?
So when you say Wayville, lots of people think of the township of Wayville, which is down 13. It's a little small type community, but the borough of Wayville is actually, it's very big. Just like when you think of Suffolk, you kind of think of small town city, but Suffolk's actually the largest city in the state of Virginia, landmass wise. And Wayville is a very big borough. It starts on the south side of downtown Suffolk. That would be south side of East Washington Street, where the railroad tracks kind of go through. It follows that, and then it goes south all the way down to North Carolina. So it's a quite a diverse and large area for a borough. There's lots of farmers that are in that area, and there's lots of downtown that are in that area. So the problems that Wayville faces are very, very indicative of Suffolk as a whole city. There's agricultural that we want to make sure that we embrace. That is a resource that should not be squandered on expanding homes, townhomes, warehouses, things like that. The farming industry, I'll just say this for you. The farming industry in the state of Virginia is a $80 billion industry. It's the number one private industry in the state of Virginia. One in every 11 jobs in the state of Virginia, you can tie back to agriculture. And the city of Suffolk, being known as the peanut city capital of the world, is based in agriculture. There's agricultural in the city symbol. There's agriculture that's supposed to be in the city charter that we're kind of let go to the wayside. So we're not embracing our rural heritage and our rural roots as far as that goes. We need to be protecting that, because it's obviously an economically viable industry here in the state of Virginia. And we've got some great resources that Suffolk has. And I think we're kind of squandering those while we're letting really the gem of Suffolk, the downtown area, which could be walkable and very Mayberry-esque, so to say. If we put the thing back together, we could attract good business and do things downtown. So there's a myriad of problems across Wayville, but Wayville's got 5 precincts. voter precincts, the South Side precinct, the Hollywood precinct, the Booker T. Washington precinct, the airport precinct, and then the Wayville proper precinct. So we're about 14 to 16,000 voters that are in the Wayville area, and everybody's got a unique take and a unique look on it. But I think we all see the same problems. One of the things that really concerned me is in all of that area of Wayville that I just described, there's actually not one proper grocery store inside of that borough.
What?
Really, truly, there's not one proper grocery store inside of that borough. And that's a problem because the people that live downtown, they can cross over and go into Suffolk across or go up to the Walmart or to Kroger or Aldi that's on the other side of north side of downtown Suffolk. But for people that live in Wayville proper, that's a 40-minute drive sometimes just to go get groceries. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So there's some things, again, that our city council's kind of overlooked. They're not thinking generationally. They're not thinking about supporting the citizens who are here right now and attracting and keeping those businesses that we so desperately need.
Okay. All right. So there seems to be an uptick in crime in Suffolk. What are your thoughts on that?
People need Jesus. Hey, the entire country is abandoning our faith in God, and the result is a violent and sinful society. And we've destroyed our nuclear family. We've replaced it with mom and dad. We've replaced mom and dad with the government, and you get bad results when you do that. I'm a big fan of the fact that what makes America unique is that we are a meritocracy, not a nepotism or a tribal society, which means if you want that opportunity, you're in the right place. So I still believe in the principles of this country, and I think if we kind of return to our faith, we can start fixing the family, and then we can fix some other things. But as far as crime goes, crime also follows the direction of the economy, right? Crime goes up when the economy kind of goes down. And like I said, downtown Suffolk, we've kind of let go to disrepair. We've let our businesses go away. So when the economy goes down, when businesses go away, people get desperate. And when people get desperate, they do desperate things. So I think it's related back to the economy. I think it's related back to the direction that the city is going. Our current city council is approving warehouses and expanding it so that we're either what I call a heads and beds community, where everybody might live and sleep here, but then they work somewhere else, not in Suffolk. That's not good for the economy. And then warehousing is actually, employment-wise, if you look at warehousing and trucking here in Suffolk, those jobs are on the rise. But unfortunately, manufacturing or technology jobs are on the decline. And I would challenge anybody economically. Warehousing is not going to provide the same economic opportunity to a family that a manufacturing or technologically challenging job will. So I'd like to bring those jobs back. Again, I'm very, very passionate about developing an adult skills trade set, becoming a resource, because businesses like that. The company that I work for now actually has to recruit from out of state sometimes because we can't find skilled trades workers to do things manufacturing wise. So if we had that here in Suffolk, that would be, that's a gem of a resource. That's a brighter future for Suffolk. So I think we need to get into that, really, to explore that idea, to provide opportunity for people to get a better job when they come straight out of high school, or maybe some of these folks that went to college got a degree that they thought would carry them through life, but it doesn't quite work out. There's still hope, because if you put an adults trade school in there, you can always learn a different trade, and trades are going to make somebody a great living in the future here. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but the average age of an electrician or a plumber here in the city of Suffolk is north of 55. So what that tells me is, in just a very short few years. If people want to retire at say 62, that's 7 years from now. We're going to have a shortage of electricians and plumbers. That means it's going to cost you a lot more to come get that outlet or have your toilet fixed, have somebody change and fix your faucet, because they just, they're in a higher demand. There's not that many of them, so they'll be able to charge more. So if you're listening to me, go get in a trade school, go find something quickly, because there's business opportunity. You get into that trade, learn that trade, and then get with somebody that knows how to run some books. You can open up a business, and away you go. And when I think that a rising economy is just like the tide, the rising tide will float all boats. So that economy will push the crime out of the area, and it'll make the city a lot better. Public safety is another thing too. Here lately in our society, it's a wonder in my mind that anybody really that seeks out to be a first responder. They seem to always be attacked for some reason. I know there's bad apples in every bunch, but we need our first responders. We need them on the fence. We need them on the front lines to keep us safe, to keep our neighborhoods crime free. We need those people that will run into a burning building, and when you won't do that. And it's something that is, as a veteran, a military veteran, I understand, and I fully support our law enforcement, our first responders. And I think that for Suffolk to kind of help with that crime in an immediate area, what we need to do is attract the brightest and best. And to do that, we need to be the best trained, the best equipped for our first responders. So I'm very proud to announce that I earned the Virginia Police Benevolence Association endorsement because of my concern in that area. And I'm happy to know that I've already started an inroad to work to make our community safer.
Okay. All right. So the city currently has a low teacher-student ratio, which most citizens like. But some are worried that with all of the new development going on, that will change for the worse. What do you think about that? And how would you help with the citizens' concerns? How would you calm that?
Well, I'm not sure where the data comes from that says we have a low student to teacher ratio. The Suffolk public school system is currently over 90% capacity. Many schools are pushing over 100% capacity. We only have 21 schools. I think our Suffolk public school system right now has some serious struggles. If you note one thing is that I would note this year is that Suffolk Public Schools welcomed 190 new teachers. That's new teachers into the Suffolk Public School system this year. We are still understaffed for teachers. What that tells me is there's a different problem. That means that we lost a significant number of teachers this year. Because if we brought in so many and we're still understaffed, that means we lost a significant number of teachers. I'm not quite sure what that number would be, but if you split it down the middle, it's still somewhere close to 100. So if you're hemorrhaging good teachers out of a public school system, my wife is a public school teacher, so I can tell you that she does not do that job for the money. She did. Okay. My dad was a public school teacher. He did not do that job for the money, nor does my sister, my sister-in-law, nor did my mother-in-law. They do that job because they want to give back to the community. They feel that it's something that they can leave a legacy into by investing in the children. That is the future of our community. So if they're hemorrhaging teachers, the only thing I can say is that teachers don't leave for pay, they leave managers. And I don't think it's necessarily the principals that are chasing them away. I think our administration may have some self-reflection to do to find out maybe the course that they're on right now is not supportive of those teachers that are in our system. and we should do some serious looking at that. I think that's a deeper question for a school board candidate, but me looking outside in, I see some very big red flags.
Yeah. So where the city council would come in is when people are doing all this extra development, right? Someone's got to be the voice of reason and say, "Hey, have we done this study? Have we done that study?" You know.
You have a very, very insightful question or follow through right there with that, because one thing that I continually hear, and I'm going to quote Mayor Duman on this one. He was at the Suffolk News Herald candidate forum, and he said that the school population over the past 3 years, or was it 5? It was a period of time, 3 to 5 years that he was looking at. The school population had only grown by 63 students. Now, over the past decade, Suffolk has averaged 2% population growth. So that's almost 10,000 people a year growing in there. If the school system, I know you have students that graduate and then more students come in and so forth. So it's not going to quite be that well. But if you only grew your school system by 63 in a 3-year period, I think there's something, a metric that somebody's missing. I think that maybe they're not looking at the fact that homeschool attendance, private school attendance in this area very well may be going up faster than the public school attendance is. And that is also indicative of the condition of the school system. Again, that's a question for the school board. But if we, as a city, when we're trying to manage our growth, if we don't identify these little red flags along the way, we're not thinking generationally. We're not seeing the problems at hand that we have to deal with. We just kind of closed eye and going, well, it's not growing as much as we thought it would, so it's not such a problem that we think. But you really didn't examine the whole problem. Because I really do think that the homeschool population and the private school population in here is going up more than our public school population is, and that is indicative of parents not wanting to put their students into public school, and that is indicative of a problem with the public school system, because they don't feel like the quality of that education is good, or they don't feel like their students can be safe, or I don't know the answer to why that is right now, but these are the red flags that I see. So I think that's a problem. I think that Suffolk also has an issue between the city council and the school board. There seems to, every time I see a joint meeting, there always seems to be some sort of a tension or contention, just animosity between the two groups that should be working very well together. So I'm definitely taking a look at that. And when I get on city council, I'm very well hoping that my friend Sean McGee is also going to get on the school board, and that will be an inroad right there that we can open up some dialogue and hopefully get over that animosity and start thinking about the future of our city. Not only managing the growth properly in our city, but also thinking about it generationally and making sure that our resources, that is our children, have opportunity that we don't have here in Suffolk as the city grows. Because if you don't have opportunity in your city for the next generation, they're not going to stay, or they're not going to come back when they come back from college.
Okay. All right. And what are the problems that, well, you pretty much said all that. So let me rephrase it. If elected, what are the top 3 things you hope to accomplish while in office?
Top 3 things. I want to re-incentivize. I want to de-incentivize taking away the farmland. Right now, it's economically not viable for farmers that don't want to really continue farming to hold on to it, while the developers are waving stacks of money at them like they're like they've never seen before. So there's some programs that exist in the state that the city of Suffolk could take advantage of. Property development rights. There's a CAPE and an ASEP program that goes through the state of Virginia. That money is available to the city, but we need to codify that The city of Chesapeake and city of Virginia Beach have already codified those type things and are utilizing them. So if we could put that into place, we could put some defense for our natural resources and agricultural land up. The second thing I want to do is focus inward on the city. Again, I've been touting this the whole time. Our downtown area, there's some nicer part of the downtown area, but there's other portions of that downtown area. There's so much of that downtown area that just needs revitalization. We cannot let our city continue to crumble. And the area that I'm speaking of, unless you're coming in off of the bypass to get into downtown Suffolk, you're going to drive through that area. And if you're courting someone who's potentially going to bring a business over here, and you have to drive through a kind of a rundown area of town to get to where you're going to show them this is what Suffolk looks like, it's kind of de-incentivizing. So it makes it more difficult for our economic development crew to bring businesses back here. So we need to focus inward on there. We need to take care of the citizens of Suffolk, of Wayville. We need to get a grocery store down here in Wayville. Daggone it.
Yeah.
Trades is a big deal to me. I really do think that if we develop a system where we train and create skilled trades workers, whether it's electricians, plumbers, HVAC techs, welders, machinists, IT techs, all of those types of trades. Those are trades that people can get a great job with a company that's established in this area and make an honest living doing it, or they can follow their American dream and kind of bump up and start their own business doing that kind of thing. And I encourage people to do that. So much so that I think one of the things I'd like to do is, if we could get some trades programs working, the next step into that, or maybe even in parallel with that, would be to start something like a Shark Tank. Only let's call it the Peanut Gallery, and right, the Suffolk Peanut Gallery, and we'll have successful business people that are part of the Chamber of Commerce. Maybe you're the best dry cleaner in Suffolk, right? And you've been in business for 40 years, and somebody on the South Side decides they want to open up a dry cleaning business or some sort of a textile business, or just whatever. Maybe we could set up a program where those folks would offer to mentor these new business owners as a way to give back to the city, help them get their business off the ground for like a year or two. No charge, just you're doing it for the community. And a program like that, we would call it the Peanut Gallery, and incentivize people to try and start their own business, to try and chase that American dream, to bring that back, and provide an opportunity for them to make a better life for their family, so that they can feel safe in the neighborhood and proud about what they do.
Okay, well, those are all the questions that I have. Is there anything else you would like to tell the people?
Vote for me on November 5th if you're not going to early vote. If you are early voting, please vote for me when you early vote on there. I was unable to have kids, so this is my way to give back to the community. I want to get involved. I've been involved. I go to Southside Baptist Church out on Turlington Road. I've been there since 2003, where I found Jesus, and I got involved with the community ever since then. And I've watched our community grow. There's been some highlights in portions of that, and there's also been some just misguided things that have gone on. And those misguided things have led me to the road that I'm on right now, asking to be your councilman.
Awesome. Well, good luck.
Thank you so much, Nina, for having me on. I do appreciate your time.
I appreciate you coming to the show. I do have a few things to let people know. That we are being a part of Portsmouth National Night Out. By any chance, is Suffolk doing their National Night Out redo?
We did our National Night Out back in August, and we set up a little tent and did some face painting and gave out some water and things like that over at Lakeland High School. So to those that came out for that event, that was awesome. We had a wonderful time. thank you for being part of the community. And Nina's got some stuff going on in Portsmouth, and I'll tell you what, National Night Out is a great event. It is, it's a well coordinated event most everywhere we do it.
Awesome. And I'm excited for the Hampton Roads. This will be our second year doing it. So I really like getting out there, talking to the people, seeing what's going on in the world. So that's why I like being out there. And we
just did the Taste of Suffolk event down in downtown Suffolk. Let's go back to that Mayberry Field again, where they shut down Main Street and walked around. There's a bunch of food trucks and music, and everybody's playing and having a good time. That was an awesome event. And then, of course, Suffolk has got the Peanut Fest coming out. If you guys want to come out and introduce yourself to me, come say hi. I'll be in the industrial tent in Suffolk Peanut Fest all 4 days. It's going to be a long weekend for me, but I'm looking forward to interacting with all of the citizens in Suffolk.
That's awesome. And let's see, we also have another volunteer thing where we're doing Halloween, a trunk or treat.
Yep.
So that'll be on October 31st. I'm so excited. I'll be able to give some candy out. I don't know how I'm going to decorate my truck, so. But that's what Hampton Roads Black Caucus has coming up. And I hope to see people out there for this event also. So National Night Out and the Trunk or Treat. And we probably got some more things going on. As it's going on, I'll let people know. Also, our voting, I'm probably guessing when we vote to endorse, it'll probably be next week, maybe Monday. We'll probably start. So if people are members, I'm really going to need y'all. Whew. And I cannot stress this enough to look in your email, look in your spam. Please do not wait till voting closes to be like, I never got a ballot, because I can't help you then. Let me know immediately if you don't get the ballot. So as soon as I put that ballot out, I'm going to announce it on all of our social media, on our website. It'll be everywhere. So if you're not keeping up with us, I don't know what to do. I just don't. But I'm going to try.
Yeah, that's another opportunity to vote for me, right?
Yes. Say, endorse him if that's what you want.
That would be wonderful.
That is all that I have. And I want to thank you so much for doing the show with me. And that's all I have.
Thank you so much for having me.